Yeah, I already know the rules. No questions during recording. When I start the recording, then you can ask all the questions you like. But until then, no questions or any of that sort. So I'm actually gonna turn off. I only use extended hours for ES, but we'll get to that. So only hosts can text and talk. All right. All right, we're gonna start with I usually start with ES, so let me go straight into ES. Okay. Levels are there. I always have extended hours on with ES because ES trades basically every single day from morning to night. So that is the S&P 500 futures. And I strictly trade using ES overnight for SPY moves intraday. So here you got a 4-hour chart trending nicely. I know everybody, well, Twitter trying to make call outs and basically predict crash or whatever. You know how that usually ends and how that usually goes going forward. Key area is 4408. The question is, are they looking to make a head and shoulders up here? Very possible. And 4408 will be the right shoulder. So I'm actually going to zoom in on that one. This is the H4. I mean, trend is strong. We still got ways to go going forward. Targeting 44.82.92. If we can maintain holding above that 44.08 current resistance, turn that into a support. So I'm actually going to highlight an area here. This would be the left shoulder. And this would be our right shoulder over here to build. If it was an opportunity to go short. So in these cases, when you're a little early, if you're not sure if you're early or not, you'll play the weeklies on the short side at the money as opposed to playing out the money. And if the weeklies continue to pay, then you start sizing, basically buying more time out the money within about 2 to 3 points within that range. But here we have 14 and 30 SMA cross on the H4. We had a candle combo prior. And we're looking at another candle combo going into Monday. So from ES, I'm going to dive right into NVIDIA because this has been the play for us for the past 2 weeks. It's been a scalp central daily, Monday through Friday. Fridays gave amazing swings. It has a pattern basically that was so easy to read. It was gapping. Basically, you buy the close, you sell the open, then you rebuy the dip. Then you sell the rip again by around 1 o'clock, 12 to 1 o'clock. That should be a second flip. Then you get another pullback that lasts for about 2 hours where you scalp about 10 to 20%, and then wait till end of day to basically rebuy to where it ramps again, where you can sell half going into the close and then selling the next opening gap the next day. It's been a tricky one. It's basically they've been holding it down. They've been keeping it below 197.30. As I told you guys, this was the key resistance point. So I want to see how we basically act here. I just like to keep it as simple as possible. And this is one of my favorite patterns. You can see an asymmetrical triangle. I'm going to actually break that down to you and show you right now. Can use the drawing tool. I mean, it's plain as day. Nice asymmetrical triangle here. Breakout is that 197.30. Breakdown is below 190.94. So we want to see that 14 and 30 hold here as well. Everything is there. Your levels are there. You can also draw your own levels. You don't have to stick to my levels as well either. Whatever you're comfortable with. The main thing is to always just focus on your levels. That's going to be your entry and exit points. Those are going to be the levels you use to get into a play and to get out of a play. And I tell you guys this all the time too. So let's say Monday comes and I'm cash, which I'm cash for NVIDIA. What I'm going to do is I'm going to look at 197.50 play calls for the week between 197 and 200. We're going to do the same strategy as last week. We're going to flip it. We're going to scalp both sides. And our puts are going to be the 14 and 30 support on the H4. Let me get rid of these notations. Zoom in here. This is an extension I use too. You can use a retracement also within an extension too. But I like to see my levels add up with my 14 and 30 SMA supports and resistance areas. So right now we got support over here. Looking for a bounce around 190.94. If it does break down, this is an interesting candle pattern too. So we're going into tomorrow again, 187, 50 calls and 200 calls. My main goal is 205 calls about 3 weeks out from here. Just keep flipping those as well. You get at least 20, 30% on the flips. And if it's beyond 2 weeks, you're getting at least 10 to 15% if you're playing the 200 or 205 calls 3 weeks out from now. Looking at a 2-day, because you guys know me, I like to look at my 2-day charts, my 4-day charts. It makes the direction much more clear. We have a candle combo on that chart as well. One of my favorite setups. Just gonna get rid of this. We got resistance at 187.30, like I said, but that's also the 30 SMA. So we're currently trading in between the 30 and the 14 SMA. We have an inside which trading in this within this range of this candle here. Actually highlight it. So this would be the range you want to play. And with 2-day and 4D charts, you're looking at 2 to 4 week plays. Why I say that? Because you have a bigger picture here. So I want to play the top range. If we can get a close above 197.30, we have 203 to 208 en route. We have a breakout above that, which above 206.59. Holds above that, 208 breaks, we get 215.46. I do want it to continue to play this 197, 190 range right here. That's a 7-point range so far. It's been trading in. Just remove this. I want to actually go inside this range here. This is where all the action's been at. This has been the flip area. Actually, let's see where this 4D ends. So the next 4D starts 8-3. So keep that, 2D, sorry. So keep that in mind. We're gonna go to the 4D now. 4D is the 4-day chart. That's 4 days and 1 candle. 2D is a 2-day chart where it's 2 candles for the first that make up 1 candle. So it's 2 days that make up 1 candle, sorry. If you look at the big picture here, this is pretty interesting too. This 133.23 area. But the bigger picture here, the reason I like this play so much was because the 4D has a triple inside. And we're holding 14 SMA as a support area. 14 SMA is the blue level, the blue line, and 30 SMA is below that. So again, back in the big picture, we're within inside this candle here. We want to see a close above this candle opening for 722, which is around 196.42. So what I do here is I put a horizontal line because that is the area I want to see triggered. We can hold this big area right here. We have a move all the way up to 203.08 or close. My only issue is this could be a trap. Why? Because of the 3 candles inside the 712 candle, which is this big one here. We have 3 candles inside. Usually the next candle is going to be in either engulfing candle to where we'll find resistance at 203.08 and they'll engulf the previous candle of 728, which is this one here, which went inside, which is also bullish here. This is also like a candle combo, these two here. Oh, let me get rid of this level here. Let me highlight. Little candle combo here. We have another one here. This is a bullish homing pigeon. So we have two different patterns going in here, but this is a sideways pattern actually. See here, we had candle combos. This is not a candle combo. I won't count that as, but this one is. This is another candle combo. Some of a candle combo, but then you had the stop up here, and then we had the fail to reject and basically bounce down here on our 14 SMA. So the strategy is to play that 190, 197, 50 call range. You can play weeklies within 2 to 4 points because you can get an easy 4 to 7 point range day on NVIDIA. So keep that in mind. Let's look at the weekly chart. There's the weekly chart. You got a candle combo on the weekly. How those play out can be very good. It can have a nice continuation going on here. But the fact that we built at that 14 SMA as well, I have a feeling this is the week we break above 196.36, hold above that, and we head for all-time highs. This is a golden setup, actually. This is the pattern. This is what I'm looking at. Looking at two insides. Started with an inside down, and then it went up, and now we're building above 190.94. I would like to see this box raise. Let's duplicate that. I would like to see something like this outside. Usually they basically match up with the highs. So here, then this range. So 215, possibly around August, well, end of month. Let's see how this plays out here though. This is a strong candle. I would like to see a similar move like this. Let me show you. Change the annotations. Check this out. So you see this move here. This is a candle combo. We have a candle combo as well here too. What followed here was this type of move. So we want to repeat of this. So what I do is I'm going to basically go over it just to line it up equally. Move this over, give you an idea. Oops. Of what I'm expecting in range mode from here. So let's say we open down. This is not going to open down. This looks like it's going to run going into tomorrow. So we're looking at 208 possibly this week if this candle combo confirms and we hold that 190.94 if we retest that. So keep that in mind as well. This was a nice build area. Last time this thing went freaking inside on what, 4 times right here. Then it broke out. So many things give you clues. You guys complicate a lot of things too. Remember that. You shouldn't have to complicate it. Just keep it simple. Next up, top of my list, W. They report this week. That short Friday was beautiful. And the reason I liked it, and it is kind of accelerated, which I'm looking for another 20-point drop, was because we're still in a flag. I want to see a test of 20-20-69 down here. Anywhere close to here has been a amazing long. And the range for this channel is pretty easy to read. I'm going to basically draw some supports and some resistances. So what I'm doing here is we know it's going to come down to this level. So let's mark it. It's 20-49. That is our key support level. That is your short target. So you always buy 2 points above that to short, depending on how close you are. Coming from Friday, an easy 10-point drop was expected here. So you buy basically 5 to 10 points out the following week for puts. So what we did similar. That's exactly what we did. And we caught that move. So I want to see this come all the way down. I want to see an opening gap down and then a hammer. So where we close somewhere, I'm gonna show you right now. This is another support. We're actually closed out of support here. This is a key area, 238.91. I want a gap below this. I want us to test 220. We close the rest of our puts and we start building. First target is going to be mid-range of this channel. This is about mid-range of the channel here, which was this resistance. So this resistance is 286.10. We get down there, we're looking for a 60-point move off the lows. going into ER. So I want to see something. I'm going to show you exactly what I'm looking for to form. This is how I'm playing this out. Exactly how I'm basically talking about it is exactly how I'm going to play this week going into ER. We already did the first move, in which is to short. We're shorting the target down here. This is going to be what we're shorting for. Now we're looking for this kind of setup where we come down and we have this type of build down here. We're looking for that down here. And we're targeting 286, 2 to 3 weeks out. I rather 3 weeks out. 2 weeks out for the 60s, like a 40 point range out from lows, which would be 260. And 3 weeks out, 275, 280. 4 to 6 weeks, 300 calls. So a month to 2 months, 300 calls. Top of the range is 350. Any close above 286.10, which is this key level here, this is mid-range of the channel. And as you can see, I'm simplifying this just by using levels. And I'm telling you, and I'm basically breaking it down to you how I choose my strikes. You play that short, you're going to get a cross down to the 14 and 30, which that's going to basically smooth out, and it's going to build around here. So end of year 350s would be the best bet for a gap down to open, which is January 2020. And 400s for if there's any, let's see. Let me open that up real quick. So I'm saying I'm super excited. So we got what? Expiries going up to, you guys can see this. We got January 2020, February 400 calls. These 390s are cheap. These 350s might be cheap too. I'm going to check the prices of these right here. I definitely like these. If you can cut these in half, I don't know, the current value is 8,250. That's the mark showing, 825. So half of that is about $4 per contract. If they can kill it some more, then gap it down on whatever day. If they present after hours, then the next day, hope they gap it down in the morning and put a little pressure and then bottom it out. And just load up the 350s for February as well. Let me add that to my list. It's my watch list. 10K to a milli. Okay. And this is a weekly chart. So that's basically what I'm looking to play out. I go down to the 4D. 4D makes it even so much clearer. You can just see which areas are very important to watch for, where there's a lot of demand. This is a easy to see buy area here. Anything down here is a gift. If you want, you can extend this actually further to over here because this is how far it extends. This is a buy area. This is where they push price. This is a crazy bull flag too. So the goal for this ER is, we already know, like I explained on Twitter, that masks are becoming mandatory again. And you know, when masks become mandatory, things start to shut down. What happens when shut down? People start staying home. You collect unemployment, it's easy, whatever. But the main thing is using online services, Wayfair, Amazon. That's gonna go back up. You know, so you got to think about that as well. I don't think people are thinking about that. And Wayfair ran a lot through the pandemic, as you can see. So let's keep that in mind from last year. So it's going to be a good ER play. I want to see what happens. You can look at even a bigger, look at the monthly. We got a new month opening up. You got to look at the bigger picture always. It's the big bull flag to me. Hold on. Let's clean this up. And then the crazy thing is we're opening up a new month. So for ER, now that I look at this picture, now that changes a lot for my strategy. I still want to be heavy on the short side at the money. Why? Because the goal is to gap down, accelerate gap down here, run to 190, and then take 200 to 250 calls for end of year leaps for Feb, or we can do February's, because something is telling me that they know what they're doing. Like whether they support here or whatever to build, they want this 30 SMA to touch. And that's definitely going to happen. Even if it doesn't even touch it all the way, it just has to get close to it. This is going to be a crazy buy area here. And I want that wick to close above 220.49. Something said they're going to put some pressure on this one. Can't wait for some downgrades to come. If they could flush this on the 220 before ER, that would put some more pressure on it, gap it down some more. And then we're gonna take weeklies, bi-weeklies, tri-weeklies, quad week, then monthlies, then bi-monthlies. We're gonna be buying 230, 220, 230, 240, 250, 260 calls every single week, each strike of those strikes. 10 points out every single week at this dip here for 190. I can see a nice hammer happening here off of this 30 SMA. I'm giving y'all guys a breakdown of how I process ERs. Just using simple support and resistance. 14 and 30 are my trending resistances. Because simple moving averages are based off of trending SMAs. They are trending SMAs. 30-day, 20-day, 14-day. It depends on what you want. 20-day. 20-day average is also middle kelp. It's another thing. Oh, and I've been loving NQ as well. I've been watching that a lot. I'm not gonna lie. That thing does some crazy moves, and if you catch it right, you can make a lot of money on it. And the reason I say that is based off of just the ranges in themselves. We'll clear this. Let's go to weeklies. Maybe one more test of a high. Where we at? There we go. But they're not even done with it. It's like it's just trending, bouncing off the 30 SMA, and the 30 SMA has to build too. I'll give you guys a simple extension from that low to this triple topish right here to these two tweezer bottoms here. Look at that resistance. So you got 1,000. Woo! What is that? 1,000? Yeah, no, not even 1,000 point. What is that? What is that difference in that range? We're looking at what 15, 157, 14,000, 752. That's a 405 point range here. Let me highlight that for you guys. In between here is a 4.5, 405 range, 405 point range here. You'll be trading for ES. I mean for NQ. E-mini NASDAQ, for those that don't know. And we're currently inside on a weekly. I mean, I wouldn't mind them to push it down, but the way this thing is opening now, they're trying to push it up, retest the highs. Unless they're going to exhaust this candle this week and flush it down. But if they can get to tap that 157 this week and break out, we got 1607. I mean, they look like they're trying to push the market as much as they can. And the only thing we do here on our end is just play whatever side, follow the price. I'm on the 2-day. Look at that. We got a triple inside on the 2-day. It does not look bearish at all. And we just came off of that 30 SMA again. Expecting a 15, 157 test and a breakout. MELI has been another one I like. A lot of people can't play spreads, but spreads, I kid you not, you master playing spreads. It's not even about playing the spread. It's about mastering the move and knowing the ranges. Just don't know MELI had a 72 point range last Friday. This 2D has been trading inside here. Let me go to a 4D real quick, 4-day. See how this looks. I'm not a fan of the upper wicks. That's an exhaustion here. But they found support at 1567.10. It's always been a key area for us. Now, what can happen here? I can give you a simple breakdown of what I'm looking at, what I see already from just looking at this. Let me change this color because I don't know where the pink came from. So here, this is what I got. Oops, undo that. So you have here, we got a left shoulder. We got a head here for the head and shoulders. Resistance there. Based off of this, actually, let's go back. Bring this all the way to here. This is rejecting 1618. So possibly we get something around here. This would be a crazy buy between 1500 and 1400. Not saying this is what's going to happen, but if this does happen, max target, max extension would be 1908. Definitely want to see how this is going to play out, but that would basically be my target. Basically 10 point ranges, weeklies, and 50 to 70, 80 point ranges bi-weekly. As you can see, what I do is highlight. This is a 4D chart, so this is already a 96 point range. Prior to that, 101. Prior to that, 83. Prior to that, 94. The bigger the range, the better. Let's get rid of this annotation. I'm literally breaking things down to you guys in the easiest way possible. You can go over this video to help you as well. We have a little candle combo on the weekly for MELI. This looks gorgeous. I love this setup. It's actually an asymmetrical triangle as well. That's your triangle there. You have your focus area right here. Move that. And here, you want to see 1618 break above. Depending on how we open in Monday, if we open over at 6, this is interesting. So I like this candle combo. We found support at the 30 SMA too. I'm gonna have to zoom in. It's gonna mess up the triangle, but you can just see 30 SMA is a closing. Inside, inside, inside on 3 accounts, then outside up, then back to inside. It's gonna be interesting to see what happens. But I've been stalking the 1600 calls for this week. Depending on how we open, we can gap. All right, so I want to show you guys something too. And another thing you got to pay attention to. Let me show you. This is using a weekly chart too that you have here. Now, pay attention to this. If we gap up, well, the closing price is 1568, right? So this is our closing price, 1568. As long as we're above 1567.10 and below, what is this other yellow line? 1614. And we have 1548, which is the 30 SMA. As long as we are in this range here, I'm gonna get the show you right now. As long as we are open up in this range of this candle right here, that's all that matters. If we gap down below our 30 SMA, which is, I'm actually gonna highlight it from over here. It's already highlighted, but this is where it's gonna be at, this range. So what will happen is we'll get a bounce to 1567.10, and then we'll go up. We can definitely go 1567.10 and just go straight up to 1620 and break out there and start heading for 1700. This one pays crazy. You can have what? Let's say if you have like, it depends on your account size. Like for me, like if I had 5,000, what I would do is I'll play one contract or two contracts that's trading below $10. So $10 is equivalent to $1,000 per contract. So with that 5,000, I have a chance to scalp 5 times with 5 grand, just playing contracts that are under $10, because you know you can get a 50% move, you can get a 200% move on MELI just based off the spread alone. And let's say you bought the ask and then the ask becomes the bid now. If you market sell as into the, if you market sell, you're not always guaranteed to hit the bid. You'll hit above the bid or mid mark. That's another way to play that when you're playing with spreads. Sometimes the spread gets tighter towards the end of the day, and that's also a good opportunity to get into a position too, whether you're going short or long. But I like the ranges with this one, so I want to see how this works. 1567, looking for follow through. I want to see a move something like this. I'm not saying it's gonna happen, but it's very possible. Just looking at things like this right here. Look at the inside, then we went up. You got here, you got another triple inside here. Then we went up on 2 accounts, these two. So 1700 2 weeks out to open. Not this week, but next week. That's what I'm going to be tacking on. A gap down, another 30-point gap down would be nice. Not even a 30-point. We actually can gap down 8 points at open. And I'll take a nice long from there. This is the play that I've been focusing on and just scalping, even on my, sometimes I don't even share it with y'all because I gave you guys enough to, I don't know if y'all catch on, but I scalp, once I started scalping 2 times to show you how I'm getting in and getting out, like what my goal is and how I break it down on the 15-minute chart. Like, okay, this is my first resistance, taking off some there. I do that 2 times to show you guys getting in, getting out, getting in, getting out, how I go from one position, one strike to another strike. If I have to get closer to the money or go further out in the money because I see that it's holding a certain area. And then from there on, I know you guys got it. The third scalp, you guys got it from there. 4th scalp, I see y'all in the room, and a lot of y'all like, oh, I scalped it 6 times today for 20% each scalp. Do the math with that, and depending on the capital you're using, you can make a decent return every single day. Just stop looking for the big home runs, and always leave that runner on. All right. So I wanted to share that with you guys. I'm gonna start recording in 3, 2, 1.